Best is Yet to Come is a podcast about dating later in life. It's co-hosted by Tonya Carter, Brenda Yamas, and me, Richard D'Ambrosio. We're all exploring dating from a fun but sophisticated, sexy, and smart perspective. And we're going to be tackling every issue that mature men and women face while seeking love, companionship, and yes, sex. So you can follow us on our private Facebook group and on our YouTube page. Please join us in this discussion about one of the most important things a human being can have, a relationship with a significant other. Welcome to episode 3 of The Best Is Yet to Come. We started off at a very sort of high level with the content that we're talking about. And Tonya Carter, Brenda Yamas,
hello,
and I today, we thought that we could start branching into one of the most obvious places that people go today to begin dating again. You break up in a relationship or a marriage, and I think I read somewhere 40% of relationships today start online. I wonder what the percentage is for relationships after a divorce or something. I'm really curious if anybody's ever done that research. I haven't seen that. But we're going to be talking about online dating from the very beginning of the process. And to kind of kick things off, apparently, I didn't know this, but Brenda and Tonya have schooled me, this is like prime time when it comes to online dating. I would have thought it was January, February. People break up after the holidays. Valentine's Day is coming up and they've got to have someone in their life. I thought that was like prime time, but apparently this time of year is called cuffing season.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I've never heard of that phrase until I saw the press release that I sent to the two of you.
Yeah.
What is cuffing season? Explain this concept to me.
Have at it, Brenda.
You know, I heard of it. I had to look it up, go back to the Urban Dictionary.
The Urban Dictionary.
There is such a thing, Richard. Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
Used to hit with the kids, what the kids are talking about. Yeah, I know, right? But I didn't know it was a thing. Also, like when I read that research, I'm like, well, wow, this is a real thing. And then Tonya has the best anecdote about cuffing season, about your friend, remember?
Oh, yeah.
What was this? I missed this.
About the email I shared with you the other day, Brenda, is that
it?
Well,
so the one about your friend.
Can you share it on the podcast? Will you hurt her feelings?
I just shared it. It was just information. There wasn't an actual email, was there? There was a conversation.
No. Can you talk about it? It won't betray your confidence.
I can.
Okay,
so I
go
really
for
think, like Brenda, I thought cuffing season was just something we said in the hood, like it's cousin season. It's just like a running joke. Now,
right.
So, you know what? You guys always have to come and take our things and make it your own. We've been talking about cuffing forever. Can we just keep some things in the hood? Can we have something to ourselves? I digress.
Hey, I didn't take because I knew nothing about it. I did not adopt this phrase until you guys told me about it.
Well, I had a friend, not a good friend, but an associate, who was dating this guy who was a bomb. And she knew he was a bomb.
And a bomb is a what?
Bombs come in all seasons.
But is it a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a no good man.
Okay. Because like when someone says he's the bomb, I thought that meant.
Oh. See, I didn't say the bomb. I said a bomb.
Oh, there's a difference.
Or a bum, B-U-M, like a bum.
A bum.
Instead of the
a bum.
B-O-M-B. I was like, and then it's all about context. Girl, he is the bomb. And girl, he ain't nothing but a bomb.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's hear about this anecdote. What happened?
So either way, she was dating him and she knew he was a bomb. She knew it. We all knew it. But he always came around like when it got to be like cool. I didn't know there was a date until I read the article. But this date makes sense. When it starts to get cool, he's a little around a little bit more. He's coming to drive her car and spend the night and do things. And by the first snowfall or first cold weather in Georgia, he moves in. And by April, the first break of sunshine, he's back out. But they're cuffed up and booed up the whole winter.
Holy
wow. She just thought accepted. I knew that we were neighbors for like 3 years or so. He popped around just enough throughout the warm summer months to keep his presence there. Because you got to reserve your spot for cuffing season. You can't drift too far
You have
away
to
from
reserve a spot.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
like going
spot.
to the
It's, a,
KOA.
this is what you would call, what did you say, deliberate dating, or this is procedural. You got to keep your stuff. You got to make sure people, you got to keep one foot in and one foot out. You can't take them both out because listen, there's another bomb. I laughed about. I think I said this to Brenda. I said, cuffing season is great for somebody fat and ugly who can cook well because you're gonna be boo.
That's right. I do remember that because I asked you if you were talking about me.
No, we're gonna cover you in the summer months too, because I'm sure you can grill. But it's just about getting yourself settled because you can sleep on someone's sofa during the summer, you can sleep in your car, you can hang out all night, take a shower at the gym. Because believe it or not, this is a whole nother subject. People live in their cars and have memberships at the 24-hour gym because that's where they go and take their showers and prepare to go to work. They'll sleep in their car at night. But that's a whole nother topic.
Wow.
So that's what they do when it's warm. Become September, which I didn't know there was a date until I read the article. Richard, thanks for that. It said Labor Day weekend. Who would have known?
Was so brand new news to me.
Me so,
yeah. I've heard of people talking about these no good men, these bums, and how they always running games to, keep that one foot in the house and one foot out the house, and they always come around begging, oh, please, just to keep a warm, warm bed.
The funny thing is, guys, so the last 3 serious relationships that I have had, I met one, funny enough, right before Valentine's Day week. I think Valentine's Day was on a Wednesday that year. And she picked a Wednesday of all days for us to have our first date. It happened to be Valentine's Day, and I didn't even realize it.
Oh, wow. You got sucked into a Valentine's Day.
You got set up.
You think I was set up? Do you think that's what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
My cousin
I wouldn't have done that to you.
Whatever.
That's a lot of pressure.
The other 2 relationships started one kind of started around April-ish, and the other one started in June. So I've never been a September cuffing person.
Well, you had your own place. A cuffing person is someone who's they're not stable.
But I'm not even like breaking up with people in the summer and then getting back in the fall. I don't even do that. So this whole concept was like, this is a thing. Holy cow. Whatever.
Well, it just goes to show that there are some people out there, probably some of the people that we've come across online, that are definitely not like you, Richard.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm a lot like a lot of men because my first reaction was cuffing season. Is this some kind of bondage time of year?
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Oh, I thought it was like handcuffs. Like this is the time of year when men and women introduce handcuffing each other.
What episode are we discussing the handcuffs?
Now, I see where's Richard mind went immediately to bondage.
Just telling you. What else would a guy think? Cuffing season. Hey, it's rabbit season. Cuffing season. Rabbit season.
So it was so funny. Season. I posted on my Facebook profile, and somebody said, well, what about you? And I said, that's a great question. I live in all around summer. Does that mean that cuffing season doesn't exist here?
Oh, yeah.
Will I not have an opportunity? That's a great question.
You need to come to the South or even New York, where it's cold, where Richard is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Richard. I love you and all, but I can't do snow.
Oh, it was hot and muggy, warm and muggy today, and the mosquitoes were awful on my afternoon walk. Oh, they were all over me. So, guys, I'm going to ask you a trivia question. What was the first, and you can't Google it because I'm watching you. What was the first online dating website, and when did it launch?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I want to say Match.com.
It was. She's right. Yes.
Oh, it was Match?
Match was the first one to launch.
Maybe mid-90s, because that's when everybody was really.
You are so spot on, Tonya.
Oh,
what do I win?
You get 3 nights in Los Cabos.
Ooh, let's do it.
I I remember Yahoo having a dating section because I remember
they?
meeting a boyfriend in Yahoo.
Yeah.
And of course, the famous Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks movie was AOL.
You got mail.
You got
with
mail.
Oh,
AOL.
wow.
I think that was like around 98, I think, when that movie came out, if I'm correct.
Can you imagine our kids will
That's
never know
gotta be
anything
about
about
right.
that? You got mail.
Remember that dialing up, dee doo doo doo.
There was a stigma around online dating back then.
It was. You didn't tell people. You said you met at a coffee
Mm-mm.
shop or anything. You didn't say, or they'd be like, "Ooh, they met online." Like you can't meet a nut job on the street.
Exactly.
Right.
Or in a bar. Where else do we meet
Yeah.
people? You know, how many of us, and frankly, you can meet a whack job in church. I mean, sorry.
Oh,
Those are the
yes.
wackiest of the whack jobs. But that's another subject.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, you know, the stigma, I'm glad it's gone away. Before we get into profiles, in general, Brenda, do you believe that online dating is a good choice, whatever good means, a good choice for a woman or a man to get started?
I think so. I think so because it allows you to expand your circle. You know, a lot of times, you know, dating locally doesn't happen because people work long hours. They don't have a social life for whatever reason. They have a very close circle. They might be shy. They might be introverts. So I think dating online, putting yourself out there just allows you to just open yourself to possibilities, right? That's how I look at it.
I like the way you said that, because I think when I first went online, it emboldened me. I was a person who had fallen in on himself because of my marriage, and it was just not a healthy marriage. So I had a very unhealthy view of myself as a male. And it opening a circle wider and letting other people assess me. You know, there's that whole rejection thing for a little while. But after a while, I just kind of came out of my shell and I was having a great time. Just communicating before even, you know, giving somebody your phone number and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Tonya? Good, bad, indifferent? How do you feel in general about online dating?
About online dating, you know, I'm perfectly fine with online dating. I don't have a problem with that because, especially during COVID, I think people are generally more honest. If you're gonna lie, you're gonna lie. But I think people are more generally more honest when they can write to you. When they're, you know, just communicating in writing. There's no face to face with your first meeting. Now I'm not talking about those prison love letters. That's a whole other thing. But I'm talking.
Who sends letters to people in prison? I'm sorry.
Richard,
That's starting off in a
Yes.
bad place.
You need to know.
Unless somebody was prosecuted
There's
and convicted wrongfully.
There's a whole online dating site, Richard, for prisoners. We're gonna have to get into that one time.
Oh my gosh.
Where my friend said that to me one day. She's like, you know, you can date people in prison. Like,
why? Why would you do that?
Why am I dating
Exactly.
somebody in prison? Like, pen pal. I don't even want to be their pen pal.
Exactly.
But I mean, I can see if you're lonely, you bored, and you're just looking for a pen pal. But why am I just looking for this dude serving? But people do it every day. Look at Jeff, you know, with who is the one killed his wife. But anyway, I tend to do think that it can be more honest when you're in writing. And then me, since I'm the grammar police, I really don't please. They just cut themselves right off if I got a reason.
Did I have
think
any grammar problems in the profile I sent you? Did you see
You know,
that?
I pointed out 2 small grammar problems.
You did?
I said, Richard.
Now look,
got
Tonya.
2 things grammatically
Look,
wrong.
Tonya, you would have missed out on a great catch because you would have swiped left on
filtered
Richard.
me out.
No, not a little bit of grammar because I'm not the world's best.
This man is uneducated. He's lying about his college degree.
No, okay, here's the thing. You know, you're writing back and forth, and someone says, tell me about yourself. And they're like, tell me about yourself. And then here I am. I'm a full sentence kind of person. He like, well, I'm good. I go to church, you know?
Right.
So now I just swipe left, delete, block, whatever. Because the communication is not there. You can't even respond to a message on a dating site. So yeah, I do like the easier concept of eliminating somebody faster.
But I think that I think that's just like dating people around, like you meet somebody
Yeah.
for drinks and then nothing happens. There's no chemistry, right? So it's like, talk to this guy, say hello. I said hello and nothing ever happened. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
We ruled that out, let's keep it moving, but you never know though. I think so. I wanted to say something about, the women dating the prisoners, there's always people out there with this savior syndrome, right? They want to save the
Yes.
world, save people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's somebody out there for everybody. On the other hand, I think that's why online dating gives an opportunity to go outside your comfort zone a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you
Yes.
never know who you're going to meet. I've had
Yes.
great friends that have
Yes.
come out of that.
I think that is, if there was one piece of advice that I would give that I'm feeling certain about, because everything else I think is up to an individual, is be an optimist. Just put yourself out there and don't have like expectations. Don't expect that you're going to get all these hits in the first 4 days, or that the first 10 requests you go out to 10 other people that you're going to get back the dream of your life. Just go and be. So the exercise that Tonya has kind of started us down the path, and I
I
know
apologize.
and I know she's leading us to activating our accounts. And I found out by trying to use my different email addresses between last podcast and this one, apparently my accounts are gone because the
Oh
username
wow.
and the passwords don't work. So I'm
Hmm.
not sure what happened. I don't know if I deleted it or if they had a policy. And I think Match was the last one that I was on. But anyway, but I did have I wrote the profile in a Word document and I emailed that out to Brenda and Tanya. So they don't have my pictures, but they have my and if you want to ask me about the pictures, I probably can remember most of them. And they've got what I wrote. And other than my bad grammar, Tanya, what kind
It
of a
wasn't bad grammar. It wasn't. That was just. It wasn't bad
so
grammar.
I wrote something to the effect of, and I actually made a couple of online dating mistakes according to all the experts, but I said something like,
Did you?
yeah, toward the bottom. So at the top, when you first saw this profile, music is very important to me. I
Okay.
sing all the time. I sing everywhere. I grew up with a mom and dad who loved music. There was either Frank Sinatra or Tony Bennett. I remember when Tijuana Brass came out. My mom had that thing on that she was spinning that album every day. So music was a big thing in my life and remains a big thing. And I post music videos on my Facebook feed. And I kind of feel like there's a soundtrack going on in my life. And so that's what I wrote in my profile. If you hear a soundtrack in your life and you know these types of artists, then you might enjoy my company. I think that's kind of what I wrote. Um, and I'm trying to remember what else I wrote because I don't have it open in front of me.
So what I said was, Brenda, he sounded like an African prince,
An African prince. What does an African prince sound like?
like your profile. But
Doesn't
hello,
help.
my beautiful. They do these long poems.
So you thought I was going to hit you up for $10 million?
No, they don't ask for money. It's this long poem. They go through this long romance. They're worse than Pepe Le Pew. They really are. Now yours, as I
No, but
stated to Richard, because I know him and
Brenda,
because I know he's
Brenda, your date
sincere.
showed up early.
I know,
A
right?
real dog. He's a real dog.
That's right. He's like, what are you doing? Are you talking about me?
I'm
But I
sorry,
liked
John.
everything. I liked everything that you wrote, Richard. It was sincere. It was from the heart,
Yes.
and it's romantic. And like I said, for the woman who's not as cynical as I am, because there's so many African princes out here. I don't
So
know how
maybe,
everybody in Africa is a prince, but yours was sincere. It was very sincere. I think you can read. For me, you
Wait,
can understand the sincerity in yours versus these African princes. Oh, my beautiful! I'm looking for someone as beautiful
so
as you
so
are.
just
Come
to
to
let you
America.
both know, I am concerned about dating online this time of year because then it gets awkward. You're just starting to know each other. You've got the holidays. Then do you buy her a Christmas gift, but you've only been together for 2 months? You have to
You
go
do
through
the old fallback. I'm a Jehovah Witness. I don't believe in gift giving. And then you show up with your own damn gifts you bought for yourself. I have never met so many promiscuous, drinking, and smoking Jehovah's Witnesses in my life.
I have never been online in September, October. I've always been with a woman at that point. And
he was cuffing. You were cuffing and you didn't even know it.
Yeah, I was cuffed and I didn't even know it. So just to let you guys know, if I start to build a profile with this little Tonya challenge, I may not launch it until after New Year's Eve. So I'm going to just be completely honest with you.
Why?
Why?
Okay, are you
Richard?
What happened to just jumping out there?
Right. We just talked about expanding. Listen, let's just take it as it comes, right? I mean, why does it have to be a person involved? It could be I buy you pastries or let's go out.
Me. I'm good.
And we just said lunch. No expectations. So, we're not looking for anything.
So I'm opening up Senorita Brenda. There she is. You're less than a mile away from me. What is that?
No. That's my screenshot. Okay. So of course it's giving me my location.
So what do you think? She loves salsa and bachata. Oh,
I like that. I started
dancing, girl.
You see, I can't see my glasses on or
off. You live too far away.
Give me.
You live too far. Here's the one thing I'm just worried about with you.
What's that?
Why do you have LGBTQ as part of your profile? Does that mean you're gay?
No, that means that I am in support of LGBTQ rights.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay, that's what that
means. But she could be a woman who has sex with a woman but identifies as a man, and she does not have to be gay.
Gotcha.
What? Tonya, what are you talking about?
And Richard said, got it.
I understand, but I don't understand.
Men who have sex with men don't consider themselves gay. So she could just enjoy sex with women and not be gay. So the LGBTQ thing, it's also confusing. I'm 52.
Oh my God, Tonya.
So
cynical much.
But that's how it could be taken. That's the first question Richard asked to me.
Is there a bio?
I was thinking that you were saying that.
Is there a bio in here anywhere? Because I don't see any bios.
That's the bio, Richard. Like the comments that I wrote there.
But all I see is 90s R&B, Fania All-Stars, salsa bachata, old school reggaeton. I don't see anything else.
There's another picture in there. That
bourbon and bourbon and mojitos.
I don't see that. Am I not seeing all of yours? Because
are you going to the other pictures or something?
Yeah. Now, Brenda, which picture do you think turns me on the most?
Oh my God! Let me go back to them real fast.
Yeah. Out of the 4 pictures, which one?
I know which one I like.
Gets me going.
I know. Ooh, and I like this blouse.
Is it the picture where I'm standing with the bourbon in my hand?
No.
I bet he liked the natural picture where you're hiking and just comfortable in your element.
No, I like the close up with the lipstick.
Ooh.
And the glasses.
You're giving it to us, girl. You're giving it to us.
Oh my God. Can I show it to everybody? Or will it not show up because of my green screen?
We can see it.
You got it. Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, baby.
What color lipstick is that?
Yeah, really? Baby. Oh yeah.
What's the lipstick? What color lipstick?
It's kind of like it's got sparkles in it.
Like something. A cranberry? Is there a filter with the sparkles or?
That is a filter. That is a Snapchat filter.
Okay, that's a Snapchat filter. Well, I'm just telling you. That's the one that stopped me cold. I was like, whoa. Okay.
Oh, well, so that should be the number 1 picture then, huh?
For me, it would be. But if you're not looking for an old geezer like me, you might want to pick something else. So how successful has your profile been? Are you happy with it? Is it working for you?
So, I had another one some time ago. And I keep them all in my notes section of my phone because I just changed them just to see.
Right.
I read these articles where people say when women say that they're funny and they like to have fun, they get more opens or they get more likes. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of tired. Because I can tell you all day long that I'm funny, but you may not find me funny. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand that. But I have gotten some connections. But most of the people that I've gotten
love connections.
Wait, no, but look, most of the people that I've gotten connections with are here like tourists, like
Oh.
they're here visiting. And I'm like, oh, I'm
See,
sorry.
that is a
End of the care.
problem for you because you live in a tourist destination,
Yeah.
and you probably do get a lot of that. I've heard that from people who live in tourist places like Cape Cod. I've heard single women in
Yeah.
Cape Cod saying these guys that come in the summertime and then they disappear by Labor Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That must be tough on you, Brenda.
It is because my plans are to stay here at least another year,
Right.
and then after that, I don't know where I'm moving. I know I'm moving back, but I really feel
Right.
safe here during the COVID outbreaks,
I
So,
don't blame you.
as-
Yeah.
As long as the pandemic is going on, I feel like I'm going to stay here. And then it's really difficult today because then it's like, okay, what are my future plans? Do they match up with somebody's future plans?
Yeah.
I am okay with long distance dating. I am fine with that. I just don't know what the outcome is going to be after that. So that's
Right.
a little bit challenging.
Right.
But I'm up for a challenge. So
Do you enjoy it, Brenda?
I do the conversations. Like Tonya said, right? Like you will get people that you link up with and you don't hear much about it. Like you match, you don't hear anything about it. You might say, hey, good morning. Because there's another app where the woman is the first one that has to approach the guy.
And that's Bumble,
So-
and that's the one that I
Right.
signed up for.
Right. So, you will do that, but then you don't hear back. So anyway, so I would say out of 10, 15 people, you probably end up having one good conversation.
Right.
And then let's say 3 conversations, because I'm a marketer, so I'm going to talk about conversions. So out of
What's the return on your investment here? What's your ROI?
out of 20
First, she builds
leads-
awareness.
right.
Then she has engagement.
So out of the leads, the potential 20 leads, you might get 3 warm leads, and then it might end up being with just one good conversation.
Right.
So I mean that's how it's been for me.
So now let's scroll through. Let's swipe left on the
Mm.
young lady from Georgia.
Listen,
Mhm.
I just sat here right before we came on Zoom and put these pictures up. I tried to show pictures of me having fun and just being silly because we have enough seriousness in life. And
I love it. She writes, have a passport, period. If not, comma, are you restricted from obtaining one?
And the next sentence was, and I took that off because it was too harsh. Swipe left if you can't get a passport for any reason. Because I'm passionate.
Yes,
can't
that's
get stuck in
wonderful.
Georgia.
No, your profile should filter out the people that you don't want to waste your time with. I love it. Okay.
Well, okay, what about my silly pictures? I was just being silly for Mardi Gras, but
Yes.
I don't know.
I
just wanted to-
think they're hysterical. And because what it says is that you have a tremendous sense of humor. You are one of the funniest people I know.
And I don't even try to be. So I don't
No,
know.
it just comes very naturally to you. So, if I'm a guy who really values a sense of humor,
yeah.
that makes me go, I think she's got a sense of humor.
Well, great. See, that's all I was going for. I can't stand a boring stick in the mud who
I
can't
totally
take
agree
a
with you.
joke. Not a mean, cruel joke, but just a good chuckle,
So,
I think I love your smile. I think
Yes.
your smiles are so authentic.
was just
oh
about
my
to say that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, like, oh my gosh, she is so. I want to hang out with you, Tonya.
Exactly.
Like, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yes.
You see my boyfriend I met in Mexico? So let me tell
Yeah.
you about this picture of the little guy in Mexico. I was there for my first destination wedding. I walked into the store. My girls are hefty. And so I went and bought this. I don't even want to say what this bra costs because it's ridiculous. But keep in mind, it takes some money to hold them up, especially if it's strapless. I walk in the store, this man comes running and he's screaming out loud. He's pointing at me and I have no idea what he's saying. And so the cashier is like telling him, like, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. So the other customer starts laughing. I said, what is he saying? And he says, he's asking if your breasts are real. And if they're real, can he touch them? I was like, you got to pay to touch these suckers. You can't just get it in free field. It was so funny. So he goes and gets the camera. And he's like all amazed because they're real. He says, well, can I take a picture? True story. My friend Emma was in the store with me. We were there for her son's wedding. It was so fun. And we
Oh
laughed
my
about that the
God.
whole
How old
weekend.
was this guy?
He was like in his maybe mid to late 40s. He wasn't a
Wow.
young guy.
And
And I
he
know he
just
had to see boobs before, but it was so funny.
one of the funniest, if not the funniest men I've ever met. I used to own a coffee shop and I hired these two brothers, Basilio and Pablo. We called Basilio Bassi.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I have never met such a funny man. And when he tinged his jokes with sexuality, I almost peed in my pants a half a dozen times with that guy. What is it about Mexican men that they're so freaking funny? Oh my God.
Hilarious. This guy was hilarious. And I had taken this picture right before I went to the store. So I like this profile picture because I was
Yeah.
comfortable. I should use that as a profile picture instead of the other picture. But it
So
was a good day.
let me ask you a question. You came right out and said the quickest way to my heart is honesty.
Yes.
Do you guys ever feel, and would you give advice to anybody who maybe has never used an online dating app? How honest should you be in your profile? I have heard people say if you say too much, if you tell too much, it's actually got a reverse effect on people being interested in you. Any opinions, any experience where you feel like you say something like honesty is really important and somebody's like, well, of course it is, or gee, she's being, obnoxious.
I'd rather be 100% authentic. So if there's something that I've said on this little 2-minute blurb they're going to read,
Right.
if they're offended by that, then again, just swipe left and we don't have to waste any time.
Yeah.
So I'm as authentic as I can be without listing my address and telephone number. But I'm just it saves a lot of time.
Because you don't know who reacted incorrectly, that you sent out a signal, and I always tell people, look, every human being is different. We could all stand in front of a car accident and you thought the blue car hit the red car, but I saw the red car hit the blue car. And I've always wondered, could the woman who would fall for me just because of a perspective that she brings to the table read something I wrote and go, ugh, that's kind of obnoxious. So it's really kind of a crapshoot. And it gets to the point earlier that I was saying, I did what you're not supposed to do, which is, or at least the experts say that. I wrote at the end of my profile the things that I find are turn-ons and the things that I find that are turn-offs. And apparently you're never supposed to say anything negative.
I like that. I like when you put that there for me. I liked it because you were so honest. I'm going to have to go back and find what you wrote. But I like that. But I once had a friend and he said to me, Tonya, you got to stop being so honest when you're talking to these guys.
This is what I mean. I've heard that
said,
from women who've seen my profile and told me that. Yeah.
I liked it. But he said to me, we're such chameleons as men and we're focused on whatever that one thing is that we want from you.
Uh-huh.
So if you tell us exactly what you're looking for, that's who we're going to be. That's what we're going to do. So don't tell us what you're looking for. Wait to see how we're reacting. Wait to see if we are what you're looking for. Because it's so easy for us to become what you're looking for until we got tired of pretending.
And I've heard that, Tonya, also about narcissists.
Oh, yeah.
That narcissists will grab information from you, parrot it back to draw you into them. And so that's another thing I think people in online dating experiences need to think about is listen to how the person parrots back your profile. If they're asking questions, we all should be answering questions. But what I've heard is sometimes predators, and even females can be predators, and not necessarily in the violent way, but that they may be doing that because they have narcissistic tendencies and they're trying to butter you up. Even if they don't believe what they're saying, they're pulling that information out, they're parroting it back, and you're going, wow, she really listens. Wow, that's great. And that's why I've had certain people say to me, just be careful how much you put out there because you could just have somebody faking it. I don't know.
So there's really no winning. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that we have a saying in the community that, you can only send your rep for so long, right? The real person has to come out sooner or later.
Right.
So I don't worry so much about that. I
Right.
worry more about the following conversations, because it's gonna come out.
Right.
And the one thing about online dating is it's like almost like when you sit down in front of your your TV and you binge on a series, and you realize that there's the same plot. Every show has the same um like the same script, like the same order of
Same
events,
plot or
right?
whatever, like soap operas,
Yeah.
just different
Yeah. Like
actors.
every episode is going to be the same thing. So when you sit down and you have different conversations with people, I think you can start to pick up on what people say to weed people out. And what you were saying, Richard, about how, and Tonya, what she did with her profile, I think you should be very detailed. Again, right, putting on marketing hat, you're supposed to repel the people that are not attracted to you. That's what I want to do. I want to repel the
I like the
people.
word repel.
Yeah, you want to repel the people that are not interested in you. That's exactly, and you do it very
That's why
well.
I did the turnoffs. I
Right.
specifically did it because I was saying to myself, I just want to tell certain people, do not come near me if this feels bad to you that I said this.
Right.
And I was wondering, does that work psychologically? Or does it actually work against you because a predator will go, ooh, I'll make believe I don't act that way. Or I don't think that.
Eh,
Now,
I don't
to
know.
Brenda's point, the true person is going to show up. It's
Yeah.
just that for us, with my cynicism, as much as um, I'm not a hopeless romantic. I'm an ENFJ. So I'm intuitive, very judgmental, and I'm 100% a realist. And I know this about myself. I have evolved over the years. The judgmental part has never left. But some of the and the intuitiveness has come into more. But it's just I've evolved, giving people more of a chance than I would have.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
bring us as optimistic as I am. Still there's a little pessimism when it comes to dating these idiots.
Do you
Yeah, of
guys
course.
do you guys feel that like a profile is critical? Do you feel it's like, oh my God, that's the open door, and if I don't get that right, it's going to impact everything else that follows off my profile?
I don't.
You
I
don't.
don't. And I'll tell you why. It depends, right? For you will be different. But I have spoken to men that I'm like, oh, but you didn't write anything on your profile. He's like, oh, people don't read those things anyway.
I've
But
heard
as
that.
an right, right. And so he's like, for men are attracted to the visual, right? It's what they see. And a lot of times I think men can, and I'm going to draw back from my male friends. It's like just from seeing a picture, they can be like, oh no, she's crazy. Oh no, she's a psycho. Oh no, she's
Yeah.
no, she looks. So I think we somehow in the back of our minds, in our experience, allows us to make these determinations from pictures. But on the other hand, I also feel like with all these applications and us swiping left and right, now it's so easy, right? To just, what's the word?
Discount people or
Yes,
discount them like
discount
you're just
people
like
based on a picture, or
Right.
just like, oh no, it's not what I'm looking for. They're not cute enough. And I go beyond that. So have we gotten so superficial, right?
We
That
have.
it's all about pictures and that's it.
So let's talk about pictures. And talk about the opposite genders pictures. What
this.
what grabs your attention in a man's pictures in a profile, and what is like, you put up the garlic and the cross. He's an evil person. Any tips for our
The
listeners?
shirt off, please.
Shirt
For the love of God.
And we found that in that research I sent you guys, that women
the
don't
shirt
like
off.
guys with
I was
shirtless.
looking for your profile that you emailed me, Richard. I didn't see it because I remember liking your
That's
turn on
okay.
turn off.
I did
But-
not have any
No,
shirtless
I mean the
photos.
email that you sent to me, not the profile. I don't like the. I don't like the.
Why
I don't
don't
like the
you like
shirts
shirtless?
off.
What does that say to you?
They're shirtless, and then there's. Damn, he took his shirt off. Shirtless is, he's just out on the beach. he's hanging out. Maybe he's throwing a football or something in and out the
Right.
water, and he's just enjoying his time together.
Right.
That's the appropriate shirtless picture.
Okay.
It's a cameo. Please, y'all, can we stop with off guards? I cannot stand for someone to say, I'm going to take off guard and pose. The minute that you pose, it was no longer off guard.
Yes.
That's a whole other topic.
I totally agree with you.
That
Wait, I
runs me
missed that.
crazy. But if it's a cameo photo, I like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rich.
There were lots of it's been 3 years, 2018. So when I was back on in 2018, it struck me because the first time I was on was 2014. And then I was with this woman for 2.5 years. I was only on for like 2.5 months before I met the second long-term relationship I had. And I noticed from the first time I had a profile to the second time to the third time, the women in front of the bathroom mirrors doing the posing thing, it was like 40% of their pictures was them posing. Yes. And I'm like, I was swiping whatever direction, the non-direction.
Did you throw the phone a couple of times? Like,
no, I never threw the phone, but I'd be like, why are so many of her pictures like that? I can understand you're going out for a really fun night out and you like the way you look and you snap a picture and you're like, and your girlfriend says, wow, that picture's great. You should use that on your profile. I get that. But when you've got 5 or 6 of them in your profile, to me, it says you're spending way too much time in front of the mirror.
And it's all the duck lips. And now that they go out of the way to turn their right foot to the left and they contort it.
And what's with the hand on the hip thing?
It runs me crazy. Everybody does this little stupid little thing with their foot turned in with knees. Anyway,
trying to get the
beach shirtless picture, they're in action shirtless, perfect.
Right.
All the hairy chest laid back in the bed on the dirty pillowcase and all of that. I can't.
Oh my God, I can't stand
Reynolds
a picture.
a
Picture of a man in a bedroom.
I know.
And then there's a messy background.
And so here I am. I'm looking at the background.
They don't even clean up the place.
I'm looking at where you're going to take me to that.
Yeah.
To that.
You're not getting me in that bed.
Right. No, but you know what I don't like? I don't like pictures of men with their kids on a dating profile. That should be a no.
Totally agree.
So let me tell you why I do.
See, this is interesting.
If I see, oh my God, they could
look how young the kids are. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the young kids. And if the kids are in every picture, and I don't want to say he's too involved in his kid's life. You can never be too involved in your kid's life. I will let you get away with one picture of your kids.
Right.
But every picture you got them hanging off you, I can't.
Right.
I just don't think that is a place for people to display. I have seen men who would say, oh, that picture with the kid is my niece and nephew. It's not my kid. But I'm like, but why put kids in this environment? Like,
and
this is
that's
not a place
the thing for me is, you know what? These people are total strangers. And now someone understands approximately where you live.
Right.
They may be able to see landscapes and go, and now your child's face is in that picture. No, that just doesn't sit with me.
Well, I saw a picture of the guy. I guess he thought he was cute on this picture. He had on his best GQ pose, which is another thing that I don't like.
Right.
He had taken a black Sharpie and just sharpened this woman's face out. So it lets you know, obviously he had some type of emotional attachment, correct? But he liked the way he looked, the narcissist that he is.
I've seen women do that where their ex-husband is in the picture, but they've like somehow photoshopped him, mostly out of it. But you can see that there was a man standing there. And you're like, you couldn't find any other pictures?
Right. Is that the best picture of yourself you ever take?
Absolutely. You know what? That was going to be my point. Is this really the best picture? Like if you're so then what are your intentions, right? Are you really trying? Are you serious about this? And you're really trying to put your best foot forward? Or are you just trying to see what you can, you're fishing and you can see what you can hook up tonight. You know what I mean? I think that says a lot. So for me, what I really like is a man that's well-dressed. It doesn't have to be suit and tie, but a man that's well-dressed.
And you would definitely not. You'd swipe. Is it right or left when you say no?
Left.
You would swipe left on me because I don't have any nice clothes. Clothing is not my thing.
But you know what? You can be in jeans and a t-shirt,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And
But
guess what? We're women. We're gonna always fix you.
So what do you guys think? What little you do know about me, what do you think out of the two women that I reached out to? I've reached out to tons of women, but I can remember these two because I had at least a multi-year relationship with both of them. What do you think made me attach myself to the two women who I had the longest term online relationships? What would you think? Caught my
Oh,
attention.
I think it was the music and the in the TV shows. Like if
I
they
think
show an affinity for
intelligence.
that, no.
No.
No
Oh,
intelligence. You like them
Smiles.
because they weren't made up.
Smile.
Oh, smile.
Smiles first caught my
Ah.
attention because I felt joy in the scene. There was this one woman. It was she was shopping at Nordstrom's, and her girlfriend's got a picture of her holding a bunch of the bags, and you could tell she had such a good time shopping that day for herself that even though I'm not a shopper, you could see that she was joyful, and it just came out. That particular person also had the most wonderful profile name. It referred to something that is a big passion of hers in the sporting world, that I was like, that's my kind of girl. I can go hang out in the stadium with this lady. So that's what caught me for that one. But the second one was her smile. All of her pictures, she had this big, gorgeous, cover her whole face smile, and the cheeks were up a little higher because she just seemed to be so happy. Smiles just get me every time. And funny enough, like the statuesque woman that I dated, not for very long, it was about a month, but I don't remember her pictures having as much smiles in it.
Mm.
But there was one picture where she was out kayaking on a lake somewhere. And I was like, oh yeah, because I want to do that. I want to put the kayaks up on the car and go out with her and disappear for 2 hours on a beautiful lake and maybe bring a picnic basket and whatever. And I was like, that was what caught me about that particular woman, was the scene that she painted for me.
Wow. I think that's why I use so many travel pictures on my profile. I try to make sure, and this should not be surprising, but when I'm looking at profile pictures and I see the Eiffel Tower or even Stone Mountain, anything, or there's something recognizable. As you say, maybe like I like to exercise. I'm like, as much as I need to exercise, I don't have time for these problems. Swipe left.
Oh, you're right. I love a picture.
So the gym pictures don't work for you, Tonya.
I don't want to be harassed.
The bench pressing and the
no, ew, no.
Do
I
guys
love
do
a
that?
travel
Do guys
picture.
It's like vegan swipe.
But do guys do that? Do they post gym pictures? Because I got to tell you, the interesting thing
Ad nauseum.
Yes, the standing selfie in the mirror at the gym. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think that's almost worse than the shirts off.
Okay.
In regular life.
DJ's coming over for some love. Brenda, what pictures like make you go, oh, I like him, other than well dressed?
Oh, travel pictures, like Tonya said. Like, I'm like, okay, he's well traveled. Like, you can tell, right? You have some expectations of someone that is well traveled. So definitely that says a lot to me, speaks volumes.
But what I've noticed is, like, on Facebook, if I see a woman who I know is single, if I go through her photos, I guess because the three of us are in the travel industry, we know a lot of people who travel a lot.
Yes, we do.
But if I see a woman traveling to places that I can have an affinity for, that gets me going. I kind of like her.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, guys, I've, and I'm saying this honestly, I'm not like Mr. Maturity, because I'm not. I am like one of the most immature guys you'll ever meet. But I'm less interested in seeing a woman like with the tight-fitting dresses and the cleavage. That just doesn't do it for me anymore at this age. Yeah. And I've seen online women in their 40s where they are just putting it all out there. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if they're doing it for the 30-year-old guys, if because they're in their 40s and they're wondering, how do I compete with the 30-year-old women? But I definitely have seen women trying to, push out their curves and, and be kind of overtly sexual more online, not on Facebook necessarily, but definitely, 2.5 years ago, I noticed that. I was like, wow, they're really putting out a message. Is that pressure for you guys? Do you feel
No,
like
because
you don't want him?
that reeks of desperation. To me, it reeks of desperation. When you get so old and I've always been more of a conservative dresser anyway, more of a cover of things up. I never, even when I was skinny and cute, but to me, it reeks of desperation cute. When you're seeing some people, who are, what do you guys think about the Facebook dating? Have you tried the Facebook dating? Because I tried that.
I have not.
And I didn't like that because I would be like, oh, he's so cute. You got 5 Facebook friends in common. I look at those 5 friends. I don't want any happiness with any of them. White.
I know those people. And that doesn't say much about your character.
Well, and not even that, because, okay, I know 5 people that he knows. He's going to call those 5 people. And I don't mind the reference. I don't mind him saying, references, do you know Tonya? Is she cool? And they're going to say what they're going to say. Fine. I'm cool with that. Because I would do the same thing with him. I just don't want to have to deal with those 5 people like, oh, you guys are dating? And start with all these questions.
Isn't
Can I just have an anonymous relationship?
Isn't that a shame, though, that you have to maybe squeeze somebody out because of, and we are going to have an episode. So just to kind of wrap this up, we're going to have at least 2 more episodes about online dating. So next week, it's going to be about, okay, I'm on. What do I do to maximize this experience? The one after that, maybe we should put this first, is, do I really know what I want? As I'm looking, if I'm using filters, if I'm looking for cues from a person's profile, we're going to have a whole episode on who reaches out first. And I did not know that this Bumble thing, the men can't reach out to the women. So that's interesting. Yeah. Kind of curious to hear more about that. But as we close out this episode, I like to go to this question as much as I can. The number one piece of successful advice you'd like to give anybody who's listening when they first launch their profile?
I think my biggest advice would be just be a little bit open-minded about it. Just maybe the challenges, and I would love to challenge people. Maybe if you are online dating, swipe right on that guy or gal that you wouldn't otherwise, but it sounds interesting. Just go beyond the physical.
The very first relationship I had online was someone I was like, I don't know why. That's not my typical, persona that I'd go after. I don't know why, but I'm going to send that person a message. And it turned into a 2.5-year relationship.
Yeah, there you go. So I think that if we're going to put ourselves out there, then let's do that.
Tonya, what's your best piece of advice for online profiles?
Just have fun. Life is too strenuous enough. Just take it easy. Just have fun.
Yeah.
If it works, I remember I met a guy years ago. We were online and we were going to meet because this is before we were doing all this Zooming and stuff that we're doing now. So we agreed to meet at a local restaurant. And we said before we get here, if we're not attracted to we just agreed that we're not attracted to each other and go.
Right.
And we got there and it was like, and he's like, and we deuced it out. It was done.
Right.
No one.
Because you were in that mode. Because you were both in the mode.
Said, there's no harm. We don't even have if we're not attracted to each other. It wasn't that he was unattractive. His whole aura when I met him was like, ugh.
I don't think I had a single success piece of advice until I just heard you, Tonya. I agree. I think the best way to go online, if you've not done it ever, if you're doing it for the first time, if you're doing it for the first time in a long time, is just don't make this into a big thing.
Don't do it.
You are delving into a new world and you're going to get all sorts of feedback. I know that I've edited profiles, like I've put it out there for a month and a half. I didn't like how, who I was meeting. So I would tweak some things and leave it alone for another month and a half or whatever. And you're right. It was like when I finally stopped saying, why is my profile not attracting her? When I stopped doing that and just kind of said, you know what, just make this fun. And that's when all of a sudden some stuff clicked and I had fun. Yeah.
See?
I gotta say, I have had dog pictures in my profiles.
Okay.
So, I want women to
I
know.
appreciate dog pictures
pets.
because when I see a big bulldog, I swipe because I don't like that breed of dogs. I'm terrified of them. So that lets me know to keep it moving.
Oh, I had a bulldog that was he was the sweetest guy, and I had a Yorkie, and she was the mean one. The Yorkie was the killer. The bulldog was like, what's wrong with you? I don't know why you're messing with that snake. I'm gonna sit over here while you eat that snake because I'm not messing with that.
That's funny.
I am
he
now
was
gonna
such
have to
a
go take
goof.
a shower because he's giving me the bath.
He's missing you.
Yeah.
Oh,
ladies,
he is so cute.
Thank you for this discussion. I
Thank you.
am definitely not an expert when it comes to online dating. I've had relative success and I've not had horror stories, but I wanted to leave anybody who's listening to the podcast. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, please join us. Go back. Good. Yeah. Now look at my shirt, guys. Holy cow. He just
same for me.
Yeah. If you have a dating horror story, we want to hear it. Join the private Facebook group. We are accumulating horror stories for our Halloween podcast, which will be done a couple of days before Halloween, but it will be published the night of Halloween. So you can have some fun with that. Please, follow us on our YouTube channel. We are now live on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon's, we're everywhere. So please start subscribing, downloading, and commenting wherever you can. We will do our best to include you in these conversations. Ladies, thank you again for a lovely Friday night.
Have a good evening. Happy
night,
Friday.
ladies.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.